So this is part 2 of the pain game. So last video I mentioned about the gift of pain and that we could see it and benefit from the pain as a course corrector. So let's divide pain now into 2 categories and look at some strategies that we can do to get the benefit of what that pain is trying to help us with. So let's start with severe pain first. So severe pain, obviously, as you know what it's like, is very intense, very high degree, and as I mentioned before, quite scary. Modern medicine's really good at helping to shut down the signals, because like I mentioned before, our body's it's not just giving us a little subtle suggestion that something's wrong, it's yelling at us. So that's where modern medicine can really step in and help, because some of the sedatives and drugs that they use can really just shut down those messages, because the body's almost gone into such an overreaction that it's pretty hard to just relax. So what I've often noticed with people over the years, and myself, is that usually when something that brings severe pain has happened, and even, I'm talking about even an accident or an injury, quite often you'll notice if you've had an injury that if you think about it, you weren't quite there. Your mind was ducking off somewhere else. That's what I've noticed in myself, is that we're usually not really present in the moment. And so that's when things happen that we go, oh, that was really dumb, I shouldn't have done that, or I wish this wouldn't have happened, and it's because we're kind of not tuned in. That flow from our true self, our really greater self, is trying to tell us, hey, hang on, time to course correct, and we just didn't quite get the message. And I've noticed that for when pain gets really severe, especially if it's chronic, it's been lasting, and it gets severe, then that's when we've been probably living in fight-flight for a long time. There's been a low-level stress, and we haven't been really able to understand the signals. And so something quite dramatic will come along in the form of severe pain. So yeah, using modern medicine in its right place is a good thing. So pain relief is a part of the process. So it's to deaden those signals. But there's more to it than that. So, and this is where some people can get caught, because they think, well, I'm taking these painkillers, and what then? And modern medicine tends to work on the premise of, we'll deaden the pain, and most likely your body will heal itself. And if it doesn't, we'll try and explore and find out what's causing it. Unfortunately, though, they don't give us enough in the way of techniques that we can do to stand in our own power to say, well, tell me more, give me more understanding. So that's where I like natural medicines and traditional medicines, because they not only help the body to restore the blockages of energy that I've spoken about, which bring pain on, but they allow the process so that we can go back into resting and digesting. So obviously severe pain, take your meds, do that for a short time until the intensities come down, and then you're in the area that's the second part, which is milder pain. So what do I do when I've got a situation like that? Is I get my body into a comfortable position as much as possible. Might mean I have to lie down or sit up, just so that I'm in a situation where I can be relatively comfortable, so the pain level is not too severe. And then what I do is I tune into the breath. I'm watching my breathing, and I start to just relax and slow the breath down. So something you may not know is that every time we breathe in, our nervous system goes up a notch, our blood pressure goes up a notch, and our body is more on. Every time we breathe out, the opposite happens. We actually slow down. So our nervous system goes back into what they call parasympathetic, or resting and digesting. And our blood pressure goes down a little bit, our blood circulates a little more easily, and our nervous system literally releases any tension. So the trick to relieving milder pain, is to get ourselves into a breathing practice where once we've breathed in, we're going to breathe out slowly and naturally, but just see if we can take a little longer on the out breath. So I practice doing that. So I get as comfortable as possible, and I'm just focusing on breathing in, eyes slightly closed or half closed, and I'm just telling my body it's okay. Well, this is all right. Just relax. And I kind of allow the pain, rather than think, I hate this pain, I can't stand it, and I want it to go away. I go, the pain's trying to help me. What's the gift? What's the gift? So once I can get the body down to a relaxed state enough where I can slow down my heart rate, and I go and meet the pain. I literally follow into the pain. I feel into that area. So wherever it is in the body, I go and meet that pain. And it's kind of strange, but I thank it. So, and by doing that, it's like my mind is giving me a chance to open up and saying, now you're ready to receive the gift. And I usually notice that how stressed I've been, how uptight I've been, what sort of attitude I've had about doing something that's brought about this stiffness, this tension, this what I mentioned before, chi stagnation, where everything's tightened up inside, and therefore I've got the pain. So I kind of thank it. I say thank you for the pain, and then I breathe and relax, just gently breathing out more than breathing in. And just let the pain speak. Let it show me what it's got to do. And invariably what I've noticed is it'll shift. As I relax more into it, as I allow it, it kind of moves around and it starts to release. Initially it might get a little bit worse, but if I just stay with it and relax, it shifts. And then the intensity starts coming down. And then I can feel the energy circulating in the system as the body's correcting itself. So I'm working with the innate intelligence inside my body to restore its own balance, which means the pain is going away because I'm integrating. The mind and the body are coming back together again. And the spirit is going, you're getting it, you're getting the lesson, you're understanding it. So that's the process that I use, and it works really well. Does that mean I've got it all together and I never experience pain? Absolutely not. That's the human journey. So once again, pain is a gift. It's a course corrector. But that technique works for me, and I hope it can work for you too, to help you. And there's many secrets our body can tell us, reveal to us, if we just take the time to stop and tune in and rest more and allow those gifts to unfold.